Gaming has felt really weird in the last 5 to 6 years. We have more technological advancements than ever, yet game developers are having trouble putting out high quality games at a reasonable volume within a reasonable time frame. It really just feels like one of two things happens with new game releases. Either the development of the game is expedited and rushed too quickly, therefore the quality suffers, or the game is a masterpiece and it has really high quality, but it takes 5 to 10 years, even more, to develop the project. With the current state of the industry and the way things are going, I think the future of gaming is going to be the studio that finds the middle ground. The studio that says, hey, we need to, expedite things, but we can't let our quality suffer. So we're going to go into things with a plan and with a very reasonable expectation of what we should be producing and how we are going to produce these things. That is why I think CD Projekt Red is going to save the gaming industry. Okay, so why do I think that? What has CD Projekt Red done recently or announced recently that makes me think this? Well, CD Projekt Red a few months ago basically told us that we were going to be getting a new Witcher 3 expansion that was going to be massive and it was going to lead us into Witcher 4. Great, cool stuff. It's awesome to see another DLC for The Witcher 3. And around that same announcement too, we also heard that they plan on releasing 5 games within the next 10 years. Those games being The Witcher 4, The Witcher 5, The Witcher 1 Remake, Cyberpunk Orion, and then a completely new IP. CD Projekt Red coming out and announcing all of this and being transparent with the gaming industry about how they're developing these projects is probably one of the best things to happen and some of the best news to hear, to be completely honest. A lot of people are worried though, because they have said that they are going to transition from their proprietary engine to Unreal Engine 5. And listen, I know there's a lot of Unreal Engine 5 haters out there. I think that it can be a good engine. I just think that there are a lot of rushed projects on it. I think that's the problem with Unreal Engine 5 is there's a lot of studios that are incentivized to push projects out when they're not finished and they don't want to fine-tune things within the engine. Thus, the quality of the game suffers. I really don't think that CD Projekt Red is going to fall victim to that. I have a big amount of trust in them, okay? Because I love Cyberpunk, I love The Witcher, I love everything they've done, and they are a very high quality studio. So, I think we're at a point right now where I don't want to wait 5 years for every single game, dude. It's getting to the point where it's completely unreasonable. For example, Elder Scrolls 6 being announced in 2018 and we still don't have the game yet. Like, that's unbelievable. So, yes, it kind of does suck that they are moving away from their proprietary engine, and that could be a red flag. But at the same time, I do think that that is the right move and the necessary sacrifice to make within the current conditions of the gaming industry. This is also a really important move for financial sustainability for these studios. And listen, I'm not saying that, studios should have zero to no resources when making a game. I'm not saying everything is overbloated, but the problem is like the last few years, some of the budgets we've seen for some of these games is ridiculous. And that is also why the gaming industry is having such a hard time right now, is because these games are so expensive to make and there seems to be no financial responsibility or financial management to make this a sustainable business model. It's just like they throw millions of dollars at something and they just throw it at the wall and hope it sticks. So I like that they are being efficient with their resources. They're saying, hey, Unreal Engine for these 5 games, we'll reevaluate after this. We're going to, optimize everything. We're going to tweak it to its fullest maximum potential. And, we're going to just give you guys a bunch of games at the highest quality we possibly can with the limited resources that we have. I think that is good to hear. It sounds, kind of rocky, kind of scary. I understand, but we're so used to hearing, games having millions and billions of dollars of budgets, and we think that that's a good thing. I don't think that's necessarily a good thing. I don't think that there should be any game that costs like 400 $500 million. Like, that doesn't make any sense, to be completely honest. And I understand that game development is expensive. And I'm not saying that, you should just fire your whole workforce to make things cheaper, nothing like that. I just think that you should be giving small groups of developers under your studio different projects to work on so that you can diversify your offerings, man. This is business 101. And that seems to be the approach that CD Projekt Red is taking. You know, they have all of their developers and they're like, all right, y'all go work on Witcher, y'all go work on Cyberpunk, and then you guys work on this new IP. And then every now and then you guys will collaborate and do XYZ. Dude, that is, dude, we've been needing this type of, I guess management in the gaming industry for so long. We've been needing somebody to double down and work on efficiency. I really do think that it has been a huge problem. A big example that we can point at here is Ubisoft. Ubisoft has like thousands of employees working on like one Assassin's Creed game or like The Division and stuff. Like that makes no sense, man, especially the quality of these games. Like there's no reason for that many people to be working on this project. And once again, I'm not saying that you should lay them off and only have a small amount of people working on Assassin's Creed. I'm saying take a few hundred of each of them and give them a game, a project to work on. Let them come up with something, dude. Like, don't put all your eggs in one basket. Diversify those 2,000 people into 5 different projects, 6 different projects. That is the approach that pretty much every studio needs to be taking. There are exceptions to this. For example, Rockstar. Rockstar's a big exception. They have thousands of people working on one game at a time a lot of the time. But the thing is like that's Rockstar. Like I think there was 2,000 employees or something on Red Dead Redemption 2. That's Rockstar. They're an exception. Every other gaming studio literally needs to be following this principle of diversifying your team to work on multiple projects. That way you don't put all your eggs in one basket. And CD Projekt Red is one of the first studios that I have seen come out and be transparent about this and actually come up with a plan on what they're going to be doing in the future to, combat the current state of the industry. This is a great move. And there's been a few critics out there that I've seen that just completely missed the mark on what CD Projekt Red is trying to do here with these announcements. For example, a lot of people will say, well, these games are going to be similar in performance and graphics and size because they're not going to be trying to scale with the new technological advancements. And in my opinion, who cares at this point, bro? Dude, gaming graphics have peaked, man. They have peaked. I've talked about this so many times. I want to experience better video games now. I don't care about my game looking better because games look so good now to the point where I can't even tell. Like, all these new ray tracing things come out and all this, and I'm like, I never use this because, first of all, it just destroys my hardware, but also, like, I don't really like the way this looks. I prefer my games to feel video gamey and run smooth. Games are at that point now. We don't have to make everything a step up and the next visual groundbreaking thing. I like that they're going to stagnate for a bit and they are going to just work on cranking out new games. They're not going to worry about keeping up with new graphics or whatever because they know their graphics are good already. They're really good. I just think that take is completely wrong, to be completely honest. Like, we need to ground ourselves here and accept that video games can't really get more advanced than what they are, in my opinion. And I want to make it clear here, I'm only really talking about graphics. I do think that there are advancements to be made in terms of having like a dynamic world and making the world around you feel more smart and making NPCs feel more smart, making everything more interactable. I talked about this in my GTA 6 video. My main argument was that like I don't care how good GTA 6 is going to look necessarily. I want it to have a smooth frame rate, which it looks like it's not going to have. Huge bummer, different topic for another video. But also, I want GTA 6 to have a smarter world, a more dynamic world. I want NPCs to be smart. I want it to feel more alive rather than just mindlessly running around in a sandbox, which is kind of what GTA 5 feels like to me personally. It's just a fetching simulator, to be honest, which is fine. That game came out a long time ago. But I want worlds to feel more alive, and I think CD Projekt Red could definitely capitalize on it, and they could make advancements in that way. I think that would be very smart of them to do. But as far as graphics goes, dude, we are completely capped off, to be completely honest. But yeah, nonetheless, I'm really excited to see what CD Projekt Red has in store for us. It's very exciting that they've been this transparent, and I'm very optimistic about their situation. Who knows though? We'll have to see them actually deliver. There's a lot of promises in the gaming industry nowadays that never get fulfilled. So if that's the case here, that sucks. But we'll just have to wait and see. But I really do want to bet on CD Projekt Red here and say that they are going to be a huge player in the space moving forward. They are already, but I do think if they can make this happen, they are going to set the expectation for the entire industry. So yeah, let me know what you guys think about this video. Let me know what you guys think about this discussion, and I'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace.